Last time on Out Chasing Stars, we had our final guest come visit us in Thailand. We spent our time together exploring more of Phi Phi Island and doing another tour of Phuket. When she left, the Indian Ocean was calling for us, so we quickly got to work, preparing to set sail to Sri Lanka. Today is an exciting day. We're clearing out of Thailand today.
Wow.
I know, it's kind of crazy. We've been here a couple months, been hauled out for almost half of it, but gonna go clear out immigrations, all the last little errands today, and Sri Lanka tomorrow.
Alrighty.
Phuket does make the formalities process pretty easy, as all the offices are out on the pier at Chalong Bay. It can be a bit confusing trying to figure out which offices you need to visit in which order, but with plenty of smiles and thank yous, we managed to get everything done. We are done with all the formalities.
Yes.
Wasn't too bad, yeah?
No, not too bad.
Nah, a little over an hour, and
About 500 baht.
yeah, so it's like
$15.
15 bucks. Not bad at all. So we had to do the yacht administration, then the harbor master, then we went to immigration,
Immigrations.
then
Then
customs, and then you have to go back to the harbor master for the last paperwork clearance, but at least it's all in one place, so that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
And now we've got a few final errands to go run, and then paella tonight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good celebration for leaving Thailand, I think.
Yeah.
What you making for us tonight, Carlos?
It's farewell for Starry Horizons. We are
Yeah.
very sad. We are splitting.
Yeah, you guys you need to come with us. Why are you staying here?
Oh, I don't know. That's life, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. But you're making us something pretty awesome in celebration, aren't you? We're getting
Paella again.
paella again. It's like Christmas all over again.
I think Christmas again.
I love
In
it.
Thailand is always Christmas.
That's one reason to stay right there. It's always Christmas. We'd spent most of the past 7 months with our friends from Mirniokan and Slow Flight, traveling all the way from Australia up to Thailand. Phuket gave us a pretty amazing last night together, and as expected, Carlos's paella was absolutely delicious.
Ooh.
I can't take a photo.
Yes, you can. Here.
That looks pretty good, huh, babe?
It looks really good. It's such a beautiful presentation.
Yeah, presentation is great.
Yeah.
Carlos,
Nice,
well
Tommy.
done, buddy. Well done.
I'm taking a photo.
I would just like to point out we've got one camera, and then we've got one too. This is truly the new wave of sailing. Huh?
New generation.
Get in, everybody, get in. The next morning, after lengthy goodbyes and promises to see each other another day in another bay, it was time for us to up anchor and get moving. We've got Thailand slowly receding over the horizon back behind us. This feels a little weird. We are on the move to Sri Lanka, and this is going to be actually our first open ocean passage since we sailed to Australia. Everything else has been kind of like along the coast of Australia, through the islands of Indonesia, up the straits of, up into Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. So we haven't been that far from land for quite a while. This is going to be a bit of a change, but kind of excited for open ocean. I'm hoping less fishing boats. That would be nice, to be honest. And this passage, we're not 100% sure how long it's going to take us. So it's a little over 1,000 miles, which would normally take us about 7 days. But the winds in this part of the world are pretty light, so I think I'm going to be pretty thrilled if we see true wind speeds above like 13 or 14. So we may get a lot of spinnaker practice. If we're sailing, at least moving forward, we might go a little slow, and just see how it goes. But I'm excited to be back on the water again. The winds were incredibly light for our first day at sea, and wouldn't you know it, we were lucky enough to have Thailand's fishing fleet come out to wish us luck on our passage. My hope for less fishing boats, not off to a great start so far. We've kind of had two lines of fishing fleets going north-south we've had to cross through so far. This is the second one. You can see one right there behind me. And we kind of got caught right in the cross. We had two that were going north, two that were coming south. So we passed way behind the ones that are going north and tried to get in front of the ones that are going south. They are all dragging nets behind them, but it's really hard to tell just how far those nets go. So it's definitely safer to pass in front of them if we can. And now we've got some blue ocean and sky in front of us, so back to open waters. What are you working on in here?
It is so ridiculously hot, and we're being such babies about it that I'm making us strawberry banana smoothies.
Yes, that's a winning combination. And just for the record, so we've got a little thermometer gauge over here. Get this to focus. Okay, so that's about 35 C. That's about 95. I think I'm okay being babies at that point. It's bloody hot, man, but there's no wind.
Yeah, there is absolutely no wind. The apparent wind speed for us is 0. That doesn't mean there's no wind. It means that there's wind, it's just behind us. Feels like there's no wind.
So, strawberry smoothie to alleviate discomfort, huh?
Frozen strawberries, frozen bananas equal deliciousness.
I like that recipe. Cheers, babe.
Cheers.
Here's to a new passage.
Too thick. Oh,
That's the stuff, huh?
that's delicious.
We've got a little something weird going on. Our speed just dropped by like a knot and a half.
Yeah, we've like suddenly found this current going against us, and the waves, there's no wind, so I don't know what's creating the waves, but
A little bit of current against a
weird.
slight wind or something.
I don't know. It's very weird.
Of course, waves never come out on video, but that was basically flat about 5 minutes ago.
You can
And now it's at least kind of bumpy. Yeah, there is, you can just barely see a slight difference in the blues. Okay, that was very odd. It was literally just maybe a strip of 300 meters wide that had the countercurrent against us, and we are now back up to our regular cruising speed with a little bit of a current behind us. So I have actually heard about these before. There's just kind of like random bands going north and south kind of, on this part of the waterway. So that may not be the only time we experience that, but it's still just kind of weird to see the boat speed drop by almost 2 knots. We crossed through a few more of those odd countercurrents throughout the day, but all in all, it was an extremely easy first day back out at sea. How's it going over there, babe?
Much better right now.
The wind's not really picked up. The sun is going down though, so it is cooling off a bit.
Yes.
And we're up top, so that definitely helps. Looks like it could be a pretty gorgeous sunset up there.
Yeah.
No, like I said, no wind, so we're still motoring, which is okay to start out, kind of getting our sea legs back again, but I would like some wind at some point, because I don't want to motor all the way to Sri Lanka.
Yeah. We will if we have to, but we prefer not to.
Wind, you better be coming. That's all I'm going to say on that. Sunset is one of our absolute favorite times of day, and as it turns out, the wind was listening and decided to show up during the night. Good morning, everyone. The wind has finally filled in. We've got about 12 knots of true wind. It's coming from kind of far behind us though, so we're only getting about 9-10 knots of apparent. And but we've got sails up, which is always a better way to do things. I made Amy stay up a little bit past her watch to help me get the screecher back up, and then when she went down to bed, I got the main up, got the screecher out, and we've been doing between like 5 and 6 knots, and I will definitely be happy with that with the conditions we've got out here. So that's about it for the sailing report. We're gonna go do some rigging checks. You know, with the sails up, I just want to make sure that we're not having any chafe. This is our first ocean passage in a while. I want to make sure the boat's she's still in good shape in the morning, so let's go get to that. I'm a big believer in preventative maintenance. If I can find the beginning of a potential problem before it becomes an actual problem, it's a lot easier to deal with. I have taken a quick look around at everything, and so far looking pretty good. As you can see, we've got deck vest on because the rule on the boat is if one of us is out on deck and the other sleeping, gotta wear your life jacket. So, you know, we're trying to be good out here. Basically, this morning I was just trying to look at all the blocks, make sure that none of them were coming unscrewed, all the ropes, no chafe on the ropes, the sails were all sitting okay. Yeah, you know, just this is the first time we've been out on open ocean passage in quite a while. You know, it's good, I try to do this every day, but it's good, especially the first day, to get back in the habits of things. So, I'm fairly pleased so far, and hopefully this wind stays up and keeps sailing for a bit. We are out here on our second night at sea, closing in our second full day out here, so 48 hours. And we're finally moving pretty good. We are approaching the islands we have to get through to get into the open Indian Ocean, and we finally have a current that is with us. It is pushing us along at like a knot to 2 knots at times, and that is pretty awesome. And the extra bonus is now that the current is with us, we're not fighting it, which was pushing our bow to the south, which meant that the wind was coming from further behind us. Now that the current is with us, it's kind of like pushing the bow a bit north, which means the wind is coming more on the beams, we're sailing faster. It's just good all the way around. And best part of tonight is we've got pretty damn close to full moon. It is very bright out in front of us, and it's kind of nice because we're approaching these islands. I say it all the time, I just get a little bit nervous with, like, you know, maybe some fishing traps, fishing boats, stuff like that. Odds are not great that we'd see them, but they're at least better with the moon out. So yeah, moving on and into the open Indian Ocean pretty soon. The sun is just barely peeking up behind the clouds back there, and we actually have land over on our starboard side. We are passing by what is called Nancowry Island, and then off on our port side, can't really see it, is Little Nicobar. So there's a channel that's rolling through here, and we were getting a huge boost from current and tide as it was kind of rushing out of this part of the world. Unfortunately, we didn't quite make it through this channel before the tide is switching and coming back in now. So we're gonna be fighting that to get through here a little bit. The waves are getting a little bit choppier with the current now going against the wind, plus the seabed does rise quite a bit here. So it'll be a little bumpy until we kind of get out clear of all this, and hopefully a couple hours or so. It is definitely becoming apparent that we missed the proper tide window to get through here. We are facing a current up against us of between 2 and 3 knots. So boat speed is dropping down below 4 for a little while, which kind of sucks. But what is kind of cool about this part of the world is these islands that we're like sailing through. This is one of the areas where there's an Aboriginal tribe that has no contact with the modern world. And I was really curious. They live on North Sentinel Island, and I was trying to figure out where that is compared to where we are. Turns out it's about 240 miles north of us. It's kind of striking to me that in this day and age, there is still an island that's so completely isolated. It's kind of cool, but, you know, just very interesting to be in this part of the world. It took a little while for us to break free from that current, but once we did, Starry Horizons was ready to go. How's it going up here?
It's going fast.
Yeah, we are moving and a-grooving.
Yes, the wind clocked around a little bit more to the north and it picked up a bit. So we had to pull in our screecher because we were going too far south.
There's a big burst of wind too.
Yes. So we've got a reef in the Maine now, a reef in the Genoa, and we're moving on at like 9 knots most of the time.
Yeah, and going in the direction we want to be going now, rather than too far south.
Yes. So we're even getting splashed occasionally, which is kind of crazy.
It's been a while since that happened.
Yeah.
We are beginning our 4th day out at sea now, and I think we finally got our sea legs, kind of got our sleep schedule all dialed in. So we're gonna set out the fishing lines, and if Amy wakes up a little early because we catch fish, I think she'll be okay with that. For us, catching a fish always seems to be a challenge, and they were in a fighting mood on this passage. Okay, both fishing lines are out, clickers are on, so we'll be able to hear things. Now we just have to catch fish. This right here, as you can see in my hand, the sign of defeat. We had a fish on the lure and reeled it in and snapped. 0 for 1.
Aw, did we just lose it?
Yeah, I saw it jump up out of the water, it spit out the lure and was like, haha, just kidding.
What was it?
It looked like a mahi-mahi, I think, so.
Alright, well, that's 0 for 2.
Yeah, that luck's not changing very fast.
Nope.
Bummer. Okay, this is literally 5 minutes after the last hit. Doesn't sound too positive, but we're gonna see if we got something. Oh, it's a really small one.
Aww.
Can you get out the,
Pliers?
wire grabber things? Yeah, it's like a little baby.
Oh, it is a little baby.
Goodness, this dude is ambitious.
Oh, well, it's probably a blue-eyed tuna.
I'll hold him to see, get it out.
Oh, it just let go. Good job holding him.
Well, that made a giant mess. But he's gone. Now you can probably hear the Maine is banging around a little bit. That is because the wind has started to die out a touch and shift behind us. The wind hasn't quite told the waves its plan yet though, so the waves are still a little big and kind of bumping us around. But this is all still forecasted, and so I'm actually kind of surprised. The forecast has changed since we left, and we've been sailing better than I was expecting. I thought we'd be motoring again by now, but we're going slow, but we're still going, so that's kind of nice. Shifting winds meant it was time for another sail configuration. We moved the Screecher over to the windward bow, and then, because it looked so awesome, I just had to fly the drone. What's going on up here?
We have some dolphins.
Oh, some dolphins.
Yeah.
They were just waiting for us to speed up again, huh? Getting the sail change done?
They were. They said, come on, you slowpokes.
Yeah, we were going pretty slow for a little while. But getting some dolphins at sunset, kind of magical, huh?
It's very nice.
Not a particularly great sunrise back there this morning, but this was another fairly quiet night. The winds got a little shifty. They went further north than I thought they were going to, and now they're further east than I thought they were going to be. So maybe they'll figure out some sort of middle ground sometime today. But moving the Screecher over to the windward bow last night was definitely the right call. That let us sail much deeper, and so we're still pointed fairly close to Trincomalee. But we've been going too fast, amazingly enough. That hardly ever happens. So we're gonna keep sailing as long as we can, because I think the winds are supposed to almost completely die out tomorrow. But we may have to like heave to for a little while and just wait, because you are not allowed to enter into the harbor at night in this place. Apparently they don't have navigation lights or anything like that. So I'd like to keep sailing as much as we can, and if we have to then just stop, then we'll just stop.
What is this? Attempt number 4?
Fourth time's the charm, baby. Well, technically we did reel in the third one.
That's true.
We got it on the boat. It counts. It was just super teeny tiny. So this one I saw a pretty big splash out there. Keep my fingers crossed. Up on the surface.
Skipjack tuna, I think.
Hey, that looks like a tuna finally.
We got a tuna.
Yay! Think a little skipjacker?
Yeah, I think so. He's got the stripes on his belly, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tuna for dinner tonight.
It's been a while.
I'm trying to think, babe. When was the last time we actually caught a fish?
It was in Indonesia somewhere.
Yeah, so I remember getting one on the way to Debut, clear in. Did we catch another one after that?
Yes, we caught one just before we crossed the equator.
Oh yes, that's right. I had our fish celebration. So yeah, that's been a little while now.
It has been a little while. I mean, the Malacca Strait hasn't been super nice, so.
Nor have there been a lot of fish.
Nor have there been a lot
fishing boats everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, well done today.
All right, back to work.
All finished carving them up?
All finished.
It's a pretty good sized tuna, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It'll definitely, we're gonna have to freeze most of it, which is nice. But
yeah, but we'll make good use of it.
We'll have some tonight, and then we'll share some with our friends when we get to Sri Lanka. Probably new friends, we don't know anybody there. So,
it's a good way to make new friends, right?
Always a good way to make new friends in the cruising circle, absolutely. All right, buddy. Thank you very much for all the meat. You're gonna be delicious.
Right, let's do a recap of our current situation. We have caught our fish, that's good. We have the screecher over on the windward bow still, that's good. We are about 176 miles from the entrance to Trincomalee, that's pretty good. That's about it for the good. Here's the bad. We're still sailing. I honestly can't believe I'm saying that, but the wind has been forecasted to die for about a day now. It refuses to die, and rather than shift around to the east, which is, what I was counting on to help us slow down, it's shifting around to the north again, which is keeping our speed up, and also pushing us too far to the south. So, yeah, I honestly can't believe I'm saying that's a bad thing, but the only reason it's bad is because you cannot enter into the Trincomalee harbor at night. But, and this is the big but, there's a huge part of me that just kind of refuses to slow down if the wind is here. Like, you just never quite know, and I assume the wind has to die sometime, so if that is tomorrow, then maybe we'll just go really, really, really slow, or worst case scenario, we'll hove to. But yeah, I cannot believe that I'm actually saying that sailing is a bad thing. It would appear that Starry Horizons agrees with me about this nonsense of going slow. As soon as I mentioned something, she kicked the wind up a little bit and took off for the races. So, I guess, when she's hauling, you gotta listen to the old girl. No slowing down today. We had a little more excitement than I would have liked as the sun was setting technically yesterday. It pained me, but we made the decision to slow down, and it was the right one. The wind is dying, and we just were not going to be able to keep up the speed needed to arrive into Trincomalee before sunset today. So we furled in the screecher. We tried to. Starry Horizons was not happy with us for trying to slow down, and the continuous furling line actually jumped off the drum of the continuous furler. That meant we couldn't furl in the screecher. So we're up with full sail and trying to figure out how to get that to come down. We eventually were able to come up with a solution. We got as far downwind as we could, blanket in the screecher with the main, put the engines on to decrease our apparent wind speed. We were able to pull the sail down, get it on the boat. So that worked out better than I had thought it might. And now we've just got the Genoa out, and we are, amazingly enough, still sailing better than I would have thought. I'm still not quite sure why the line jumped out of the furler, but I was pretty proud of us for keeping a level head and figuring out a solution to our problem. With the sunrise the next morning, we discovered the first of our Sri Lankan welcoming committee. We had a bit of a worrisome moment this morning. There have been several ships around us, including lots of fishing boats, now that we were getting close to Sri Lanka. And they, again, seem to enjoy coming close to us. Now, one that came just as sunrise, he passed probably half a mile behind us. One after that, though, literally was turning at us the entire time I was maneuvering, trying to get out of his way. And just kept coming and coming and coming. finally turned on an engine to try to move. He's still turned towards us. And they got close and I could see them like waving their arms and everything. And you know, the absolute odds are they just wanted to stop, say hello, and maybe trade for some fish or something like that. But you know, this is the middle of the ocean and it just makes me nervous, mostly for navigational purposes. Like, I don't know what you're doing, don't come near my boat, like I don't want to run into you. So, and also, you know, I don't know if they have nets around here or something like that, but that was not so much fun, but we maneuvered around them. The engines helped us stay in front of them, so hopefully that's the last of that, and we are closing in on Sri Lanka. I feel like Starry Horizons is a bit like the little engine that could. She just won't stop. Like, the winds have now dropped down below about 9 knots, and there is a bit of a helpful current, but the winds are so far forward that we're actually almost close reaching, and she's still doing like 5 to 6 knots. I'm kind of proud of our old girl. She's trying really hard, and I'm impressed. Light air sailing is not an easy thing, and she's still going.
We are about 20 miles from Trincomalee.
And it's still very bright outside.
It is still very bright outside. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. And like, our plan was that we were gonna heave to and just kind of hang out, but there have been so many fishing boats and they like to get pretty close to us, and we're sure there are nets out and about, and it's just not the greatest.
It wouldn't be a restful night.
Yeah, so we are talking to our agent who's talking to port control to see if we can come in and anchor in the bay, but not like in the harbor. I don't think we'll get there. I mean, we definitely won't get there until after dark. But guys, it was a close one.
Yeah.
Like, we almost could have made it in before sunlight, which is insane because on our float plan we said that we're getting the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, we sailed extremely well. Starry Horizons did awesome.
Yeah.
If we'd turned on the engine earlier, we may have made it, but...
Yeah, but we sailed a lot, which is crazy. So we're happy with that.
And we're almost there.
We're almost there. And this is actually our longest passage for the year.
Just kind of wild to think about.
Yeah, 7 days. We've been at sea 7 days now?
It'll be 7 tomorrow.
7 tomorrow. So yeah.
So we'll actually arrive in about 6.5 for a little over 1,000 miles.
Yeah, so, and that's been this is our longest passage in almost 2 years. So that's pretty amazing.
I looked it up. It's our longest passage since we sailed from New Zealand back up to Tonga.
Yeah, so New Zealand back up to Tonga was in April of 2017. So, yeah, that's crazy.
Trincomalee is home to a Sri Lankan naval base, and the last thing we wanted to do was piss off the Navy before we cleared in. So when we didn't hear back from our agent in time, it made our decision quite easy.
We have not heard from our agent, and better safe than sorry with anchoring at night. We don't normally do that. So instead, we have hove to, and we're just kind of gonna sit out here for a little while.
Float for a while, I think.
We're just gonna float on, yeah.
And keep our fingers crossed all the fishing boats stay away, huh?
Yes, well, we can,
Yell loudly.
flash some lights. I have my spotlight.
Yeah.
I'll get them.
Whoa, dangerous woman.
Exactly.
Calm myself. We had hove to several times previously, but doing so overnight was a definite record for us. I was quite pleased with how well it worked, and even more pleased we didn't get entangled with any fishing boats. Got a pretty nice sunrise back there actually for our last one of this passage. We are underway now, headed in towards the bay since it is light outside. We did spend the whole night hove to, and it worked pretty well actually. So we were doing base about 1 to 2 knots, and just kind of went a little bit north, got a little too far, jibed, came back around to the south, and there were a few little small fishing canoe style boats. Most of them had at least some light, but we were able to miss all of them, so that worked out pretty well. And now it's into the bay, checking with port control, and clear into Sri Lanka. Finishing a passage is always a good feeling, and I'll admit, this one felt extra good. We were proud of how well we'd been able to sail, and excited to explore Sri Lanka.
Hey y'all! Thanks for watching our video, Sailing to Sri Lanka. It was amazing that we got to sail as much as we did, because the next few months after this video, we barely sailed at all. Next week, join us as we tour the inside of Sri Lanka and spend 12 days on safaris and trains and in tea plantations and seeing more elephants. Catch you then. Bye.